Throughout your life, you go through many remarkable phases of metamorphosis, and none of them are as uncomfortable when you morph, adorable, puggy caterpillar of childhood, and spread your wings as an onward teenage butterfly. Not only are bodies flooded with signals whose sexually mature, hairs start growing in strange places, voices change, your emotions are all over the place. Bodies are growing in every which direction. And so many secretations. All these changes, as well as dozens of others that you experience on timescales ranging from seconds to years, immediate by one of the strangest systems, and that are a peculiar sack of meat you call a body, the endocrine system and its hormone messengers. To understand why this chemical soup exists, we first need to think about the Mongol Empire. Wait, what? Hey smart people, Joe here. So, the Mongols. Kublai Khan in the mid 1200s reigned over the largest empire in history up to that point. He had a problem. Let's say that Kublai Khan, Mr. Khan, Emperor K had an idea. How do you get it to the farthest reaches of your empire and make sure that every distant federal works together for the good whole of you? Not to mention, how do you keep stability in your vast empire before the age of light-speed communications? He sends emissaries to deliver his message and make sure that it was carried out. Your body has the same problem. It's to send instructions to its distant reaches. You coordinate stability, peace, and response to the external environment, even the occasional invader. Instead of emissaries and advancers, your body sends out tiny chemical messages called hormones. Instead of roads, they travel through your circulatory system to find cells or organs that need to heed their message. Hormones tell us many things, including when we're hungry, when to sleep, when danger is near, and even when to grow into a new body. This problem of how to send messages over long distances and across hugely varying timescales is one that's likely even older than multicellular life. This is cellular slime mold. They start life as individual ammoebia blobbies, and when their environment gets stressful, they're not enough food, they secrete a chemical signal that tells them to pile up their neighbors until they slither together, like a single slimy buzz slug. Thousands of ammoebias act together like one, like minions to their chemical messenger overlord. Naturally, when morphing into weird tree-like structures, by few lucky individuals to escape as spores to better and more fruitful lands. Now, you might think not a lot in common. This lying mode will face with the same problem your body is. How do you get many individual cells to communicate, coordinate, and cooperate over long distances and undergo major changes? The answer: secreted chemical messages. I mean, think about it. That chemically induced slime mold metamorphosis isn't likely what happens during puberty. I mean, you're just living your life and bam, your earth is flooded with chemicals instead of a series of weird and wonderful changes. This gradual and irregular adjustment of glandular system is almost certain make Johnny nervous, excitable, and a little emotionally unstable. This is the central problem that all multicellular creatures have to solve. Bodies need to coordinate communication system so that all their parts know what to do and when to do it, whether it's to induce changes or to keep the body nice and stable in the face of environmental challenges In humans, that means relaying messages between 3 trillion cells spread among dozens of different interacting systems, a vast metropolis of emerging cellular mishmash. But wait, isn't that the nervous system's for? I mean, taking information from one cell and sending to a different part of the body. In most medical history, we thought that every process from fertility to appetite to body temperature was controlled by our nervous system. But in the mid 1800s, that way of thinking started to change, thanks to some castrated chickens. For hundreds of years, we knew that castrated male chickens stay tender and delicious instead of not become so tasty and not so friendly roosters. In 1849, for some reason, German zoologist Arnold Berthold decided to put testicles in the back of those castrated male chickens. He noticed that they matured into normal roosters. The transparent testicles has only connected the bloodstream and not the nervous system. They told him that the girl's sexy rooster feather signal was carried in the blood and not the nerves. But around the same time, another German doctor was busy taking people's temperatures, 25,000 people's temperatures, and a million of total readings. When average those millions of temperatures out, you have 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit, which is what most people think of as normal body temperature. But the really interesting thing he found that was few individuals may have different normal body temperatures by a degree or more, but within an individual healthy body, temperature was kept remarkably stable. They just didn't know what was doing it. It took more than 50 years for scientists to figure out how these huge bodily changes, like roosters and their taste tested, and the way that bodies keeps themselves from changing, like with the temperature, are controlled. It turns out they're most controlled by the same thing, hormones. All these hormones, messengers, and tissues that make them control them and shelter them throughout the body are known as the endocrine system. It is the last major body system identified by doctors. It comes those chemical messages and the parts of the cells and sense because they are basically invisible. Today we know more than 50 hormones manufactured by at least 9 lumps of tissue. They're spread across your body called glands. Now, once hormones are sent in the bloodstream, they travel until they reach the right target, usually by latching on a specific receptor to a certain type of cell, and they deliver their chemical message. Hormones help us respond to changes in blood sugar, prepare our body to flee danger, and when to store or burn extra energy. They work in concert to prepare bodies to grow other bodies inside of them. And as every formal teenager knows, even influence our decision making and mental state. Ooh, I'm kidding. Your brain stays a mess, kids. Just get better at dealing with it. But our nervous system is also really good at passing information to and from distant corners from our bodies. Why do we need these extra a second later of communication? Electrical signals are a great way to communicate quickly, but often distant cells and systems our bodies need to stay in touch over time. That's just tricky. As this, controlling puberty with the nervous system alone, I mean nerves furrowing around the clock, like 5 or 6 years, and more than just signaling long-term changes. Hormones are a way for different parts of our body to sync and maintain stability. Imagine different parts of your body getting sleepy. Different times, you'll be a mess. Luckily, the release of melatonin is produced by central glands, so it affects the daily rhythms of every cell in your body simultaneously. Electrical signals can't do that, but the nervous and endocrine systems are totally separated. There in feedback loops, the endocrine system acts on the neurons in the brain, which controls glands in the brain. It sends signals to other glands with more or less hormone. Stress hormones or like cortisol can also alter brain function. Even our ability to learn and increased levels of excess hormones can make animals act like complete idiots. Communicating over large distances over time is a problem all multicellular life has to solve, and it's an incredibly old one. When secreted Mechamon masters was secreted chemical messengers in everything from single cell organisms to plants to you and your dog. What is weird is that unrelated organisms separated enormous distances on the tree of the life share many of the same hormones. It is involved to sometimes use the same messenger chemical in vastly different ways. In human bodies, for example, the hormone prolactin is involved with breast growth and milk production, but elsewhere in the animal kingdom, it impacts everything from salt concentrations in fish to ways that bird bodies get ready to sit on their eggs. Hormones on one species can even implicate responses in others. Back in the 50s, the way we find out if women were pregnant was injecting their pee in frogs or rabbits, and watching to see if hormones kicked off evolution. All of these tells us that hormones and chemical building blocks are an ancient and shared way that living things send and receive signals. Maybe as old and complex as life itself. So if you're looking to blame someone for all those onward puberty years, tell them to do the slime modes. So many secretations. Stay curious.